What's going on, everybody? Timothy Wilkes here with T-Dubs Entertainment. And I know I've been away, but I've been creating other content and trying to think of what else to talk about with Dragon Ball. I've been I was had, you know how they have writer's block. I had the same thing when it comes to Dragon Ball content, because a lot of it's really limited on what you can talk about. And like I said, I was gonna talk about other things too on here, but there hasn't been much out there that I was really wanting to talk about. But I know Dragon Ball is my go-to when it comes to different things. But I got other things that I wanted to discuss when it comes to Dragon Ball. When it comes to certain characters that's been ruined, I still got plenty of those. But I be wanting to mix it up a little bit too. I don't want to just, I don't want to be rinse and repeat when it comes to that. I want to kind of mix it up, throw in a little, content here and there. Cause I know I was supposed to talk about, the Android Saga, the Cell Arc, and all that stuff. But I was wanting to come up with other content between that, so that I wouldn't be just, I don't want to be too predictable and stuff. I be wanting to find other topics, but I wanted to discuss this too. And they were saying that there was no way you could do any Dragon Ball related thing without Goku being a part of it. But I think you can. I think you really could. One way I thought about is if they wanted to make Gohan the main character way back, let's say way back then, before Dragon Ball ended, they really should have killed Goku off in the Cell Saga permanently and made Gohan beat Cell, and they should have ended Z right there. And I'm explaining why. Killing Goku in the Cell Arc permanently, now you're setting it up, and let's say you kill him off in the Cell Arc, and instead of 11, you make it where Gohan is 12, because it lines up with how Goku was when Dragon Ball first started. Goku was 12. Goku was 12 years old, and now Gohan gets to go on a similar adventure, or being the main protagonist at a similar age. He starts off on his new journey when he's 12. Which he can grow up in the new series. Have different. The Buu cycle can actually start. The Buu arc could actually start with the new series. You just in Dragon Ball Z at the Cell Arc, and you have they could have had a brand new series, like a spin-off series, because they do it all the time with comics, with animes, with even regular sitcoms, and they actually work. If it's done right, it'll work. It just all depends, because if you try to, you can't use. Everyone's already used to Goku. You can't have a Dragon Ball all about Goku. Dragon Ball Z was mostly about Goku, and then just all of a sudden just switch protagonists in mid swing. It just wouldn't. That's why it didn't work. It's not that the fans were going crazy. It's not that it didn't work. Gohan didn't work as a new protagonist, because you can't start something and then just change it up in the middle of the whole series. You just can't. It just doesn't. It won't because people already have already grown up on Goku. People already gotten used to Goku 20 years ago, probably. From Dragon Ball all the way up to Dragon Ball Z of Goku. So you feed them Goku, one big manga, but two series. Dragon Ball, the whole series. That was a whole. They separated them in the anime, of course. We all know this by now. But And then you have Dragon Ball Z, all Goku. Of course, there are other characters involved, but it's still Goku. We all know Goku's the main guy. Even in the Namek arc, everyone was waiting on Goku to get there. They had their hopes on Goku. Even Vegeta, that hated Kakarot, placed his faith in Kakarot. Even though he freaking hated Goku, he placed his faith in Goku in the Namek arc. When they had to fight the Ginyu Force and when they had to fight Frieza, he hated Goku. Even during the Cell games, he still saw Goku as he still didn't had a certain distaste for Goku. But he had to place his faith. Even people that hated him had to have faith in him. So it was all about Goku, 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 Goku. So even without Goku, Gohan wouldn't have beat Cell. We all know this because he was getting ready to give up and all of this other stuff. It was still all about Goku, 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 Goku. But the Cell arc was just Goku passing the torch. So if they wanted to pass the torch the right way, why not just end the series right there and let him? And that's the perfect way to end the series. Give it honor and tribute to Goku. And let's just say GT was a good ending to Goku's arc, but let's just say it was a similar ending, but Goku was dead permanently. You know what I'm saying? And there's no other way to really just get back in touch with him again, or he's off on his own adventure in the other world. And Gohan's, Gohan has to embark on his own adventure, and he's probably the strongest of the Z Fighters, and he's left to and he left to save the day on his own strength. Goku can't save the day anymore because he's dead. He has no access to the living world anymore. That would be a better, that'd just be better. If you end the series at Z, it would have worked. And just do a spin-off series about Gohan being the main protagonist. Just end Dragon Ball Z at Cell. If they'd have did it like that, Gohan would have worked. Because now there's no more Goku. You finalize Goku's character. You can't keep Z going and without Goku. The next episode is Dragon Ball Z, but Goku's dead. He's not coming back. So you fed people Goku, 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 and now there's no more Goku. You can't keep feeding it to him and then just stop. It should have ended at Cell. Then you restart the series. You start a new series. Start a new spin-off series and make it about Gohan. You put an end to Goku's, Goku gave his life saving the world, and he passed the torch to Gohan. He did all of that in Dragon Ball Z. And Gohan was 12 when he beat Z. And you start off his journey being 12 years old. It could have easily been done. That's all I'm saying. Things could work if they're done right. Because a lot of series have have spin-offs all the time. It works for those series, and they do well. And it could do well if you could have did it. It could have done well with Dragon Ball. The reason it didn't do well is because they made everything all about Goku, and then you change it all of a sudden. You can't get people used to one thing and then try to change it all of a sudden. It just doesn't work. It don't work anywhere. I don't care if you make someone the main guy. Why do you think the Walking Dead didn't do as good in the previous as once you took Rick off the show? The ratings went down. I went and looked at it. I went and looked at all analytics because that's one of my favorite shows. Just like if you have Breaking Bad or something, and in the middle of the series you take Walter White out of it and make it about Walter Jr., it just won't work. it doesn't work because they have different motivations. Gohan is not the same fighter. I mean, he's not. His reason for fighting is different from Goku's. They have different motivations. They're two completely different characters. So if you're going to do it, you have to end the series and do a spin-off. You just do a spin-off. That's the only way to do it, is with a spin-off series. You have to put an end to Goku's character. You have to just kill him off permanently to where he can't come back, any of that stuff. And you just do a spin-off. Make it just completely about Gohan. You can have the other Z fighters there too, or you could have Vegeta saying whatever, he'll never fight again, or of course he wound up still training and stuff like that. But my idea of a good arc after that is Gohan really slacking on his training. Like let's say the series starts out with the way it did in the Buu arc, but there's no Goku, and there's a new threat, a Majin Buu level threat, and Vegeta's the one having to whip Gohan back into shape because of his, of course, he's having to whip Gohan back into shape and get him ready for the next threat. Now, that's something I would like to see. I don't know about anybody else. It might be against how he is as a character, but that was something I would actually like to, because Vegeta isn't a whole lot different from Piccolo when it comes to how harsh of a person he is, even though he's softened up to Gohan. But in the beginning, Piccolo and Vegeta were very similar. They both would torture. They both took pleasure in torturing. Even I'm talking about as far as in the beginning when they were evil, their personalities when they were evil were similar. And it's just back to what I was saying though. But Vegeta, I could see Vegeta after seeing Gohan's true potential, and after all the things they went through in the Cell arc, and how he did show some honor towards Goku, and there was a drastic change even in Vegeta. When I saw the Cell arc, there was a drastic change in him then versus the Namek arc or the Android arc, or he had changed a lot. So you could say 7 years after that, training with Trunks, I could see him opening up to, as far as taking Gohan on as a training Gohan, getting him back in the shape. Let's say he trained 7 years straight, unlocked Super Saiyan 2, and Gohan's rusty, and he can get. I could actually see him taking on that mentor role, because Goku's dead now, and Piccolo's not strong enough to train him. Not really strong enough to really make a difference. He's a mentor, but he's not really strong enough. So I could see Vegeta being the stronger Saiyan at the beginning of the series and whipping Gohan back into shape and help him unlock his true potential again. After he's let's just say new series starts out, Gohan's going to high school like always. It starts just like the Buu Saga did, where he was rusty and he hadn't trained in a while. I could definitely see Vegeta changing and taking on that mentor role, going from like a villain to anti-hero to seeing a change of heart and actually being a mentor to Gohan. I could actually see something like that happen. He might be rough around the edges and all of that, but let's just say he means well. He's rough around the edges, and I can see that actually happening. Because Vegeta did care about Gohan, because he when Majin Buu, he thought Majin Buu had killed him. He wanted to exact his revenge on Buu. He said, you're the one that killed Gohan. He did care about him. He didn't have any desire to take his life or anything like that. And he gave him advice. Look, in times of peace, you need to be training. You need to be trying to train, which is the same advice Piccolo has been giving him in Super. But that's the advice Vegeta gave him at the beginning of the Buu Saga. In times of peace, you need to train. You're looking, you've been slacking. So, and that would be perfect since he brought it up at the beginning of the Buu Saga before the tournament, and when the new threat comes, he's actually the one to whip Gohan back into shape. We can still use the Z Sword and the Supreme Kai and unlocking his potential and all of that stuff, but it could be. You could easily put Vegeta in that mentoring spot, and him being impressed by Gohan's power and all of that stuff. You could easily put him there. You could easily swap Goku out with Vegeta in the Buu arc. Him doing things to hold off to him being in that, especially when it comes to because he trained with Trunks. I'm sure certain things he could have taught the kids. I know you needed Goku there to teach them the fusion technique, but Vegeta wouldn't dare even use that kind of stuff. So they could have probably did something else there besides Gotenks, because Gotenks, although he's a good character, he's not really a character. He's not my favorite character. I put it like that. You could have had all of Dragon Ball Z without Gotenks, and I wouldn't have cared, not one bit. People like Gotenks and all that stuff, but I could have lived without him. So, just like I said, you could easily replace Goku with Vegeta in the Buu arc, because even earlier parts of Z, Goku was hardly around. In the Cell arc, Goku only fought once. He only fought twice. He fought the Android 19, and he fought Cell. He never fought anybody else after that. The only fighting sequences he had after that was him training with Gohan. Don't believe me? Go back and watch it. He didn't fight me. He wasn't there that much. So you can have a whole arc. You can have a series without him there. Even in the Namek arc, he wasn't there that much. You saw training sequences with him. You saw different instances with him, but the Z Fighters were able to carry the series without him being there. In the Garlic Jr. arc, only thing the Garlic Jr. arc had that people hated was lack of Goku. Goku wasn't there. If Goku had been there, people probably would have loved the heck out of the arc. So just saying. The only arcs that were weaker is the ones that had lack of Goku. Because the Saiyan arc, I say the Saiyan arc was great because Goku was he was out of most of the arc. He wasn't there. So he was in the other world training with King Kai. So a lot of Z, he was out of it. He was out of it. So you could have had a Buu arc the way it's written. The way it was, you could have wrote it to where Vegeta just took on like a mentor role. I think it could have worked. I really do. I think it could have worked. I believe that would have worked, because it would have done a lot for Vegeta's character development. It would have did a lot for his development. He would have had. I think it would have showed that he wasn't just a complete deranged idiot that put people's lives in jeopardy just to fight Kakarot. So him being a mentor role and dealing with a new threat, dealing with the kid, dealing with training the kids, training the children, getting them ready. After he's found out Gohan been killed, getting the kids, training them, and getting the Z Fighters together, and I can see him taking on that role in Goku's absence. I can see you could have a show without him because they've done it before. Like I said, Goku was missing for most of the Android arc. He was missing for a lot of the second. They've found all kind of ways in the past to write him out of the story until he was needed again. So they could very easily do that with Gohan. They could have, had, like I said, have Vegeta train him. Elder Kai unlock his potential. But you didn't have to use the Z Sword. Was just a waste of energy. It was just a waste of time. You could have Vegeta train him, and Elder Kai unlock his potential. And that would have to me that would have been better versus him training with a Z Sword and the Z Sword just breaking, and it was just a complete waste of time. You didn't have to have that. You could have had Elder Kai could have already been in the story somewhere. That whole concept wasn't really, it wasn't necessary. Not to me, it wasn't, because just training, just basic training, he could have gained that power through other means. There were multiple means he could have gained that power. He didn't have to train with a Z Sword and break it and all that other stuff. It could have already been, Elder Kai could have already been in the story somewhere. I mean, but I don't know. That's just me rambling on. This is just a video of me brainstorming, so it's not perfect or anything. I'm just talking, just shooting the breeze, because it's just something I was thinking about. That like they could have actually made this work. They could have made Gohan the new protagonist by just simply ending the series and starting a spin-off series. It could have worked. It could have made Gohan, and he could have Gohan could have, like I said, could have went from being this reluctant and rusty fighter to eventually taking the lead role. You could have made it a process of him trying to fill that mantle, and you could start out with him trying to be like Goku until he realizes that he's just not like Goku and he needs to be his own person. It's other ways. There's a lot of different ways you could do this, because through the course of the series you can have him discovering, he's learning his motivations to train, his motivations to fight, because we know he doesn't really like fighting or training, but he could find his own motivations and reasons to fight and train. Just like in Super, what they keep teasing, I need to try, they kept teasing, I'm going to fight for my family's sake, but it could have been a process just that led up to that through the course of his spin-off series. I'm just saying, it's a lot of ways it could have been done. And I think, like I said, one, NZ is way you NZ at Cell, in Dragon Ball Z at the Cell arc. 2, you can start a new spin-off series, and then you can, with Gohan being the main character. And then 3, that's when you can make Vegeta like the mentor as far as the Saiyans, because Piccolo is a good mentor, he's a good teacher, but it takes, I believe when it comes to Saiyans, to push them to that next level, it would take another Saiyan. I would like to see another Saiyan take on that role, just like you got Gohan that training with Piccolo, but he's still limited now because he's not, imagine if he trained with Goku. Imagine if he trained, just take the Gohan from Super. Imagine if he trained with Goku all the time, or Gohan. Let's say if he was on the planet with Goku and Vegeta training with Whis. How much stronger he could have got, versus just training with Piccolo on Earth. He could have gotten a lot stronger, ways, because he has more potential than they do. So he could have gotten way stronger. I know it doesn't make sense in the anime, but he caught up. He caught up to Super Saiyan Blue levels of power just by training with Piccolo for a couple of days. So imagine if he actually would have trained with Goku and Vegeta. Imagine how strong he could have gotten. So you mean to tell me he couldn't, with Vegeta being a mentor to Gohan and help him unlock his inner Saiyan or whatever, because he helping him unlock that fury that he had when he fought Cell? You don't think Vegeta could help him do that? As much trouble he went through unlocking Super Saiyan, and then he actually unlocked Super Saiyan 2 during the 7-year gap. I think they could have used him as a mentor. I just think that. I mean, you wouldn't need you could write a decent story without Goku. End it with Z and start a new series. That's just me, you know. Just me spitballing now. I mean, if anybody disagrees, they can let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I've rambled on long enough. I don't want to keep rambling on all day and night. And I'm just saying the same things now. But you can do that. It could have been done, but I think it's too late in the game now to do it, because they've brought Goku back in the middle of the Buu saga. Made Super all about him. Did GT. Now, unless you do an alternate timeline or something, that's the only way I see it happening. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments. I think that'd be a good idea. If they would have ended it there, they could have made Gohan the main character. That's what I believe, and I think it would have worked. That way, the fans wouldn't have felt led on or whatever, and just dropped on their tails, you know, because that would upset some people if you start out with a main character that you've grown up with from one series, another series, and just in the mid-trend, and just in the middle of the series, you just swap characters. It's not. It wouldn't. I don't care what kind of fans you have. It wouldn't work. So, you know, just let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Peace out. T-Dubs Entertainment signing out.